Human hearing is the result of millions of years of evolution, honed and optimized through thousands of generations to reach what it is today. We hear an incredible wide range of sounds, everything from a pin dropping on the floor to a thunderstorm raging overhead. It's not just about the anatomy of our ears, but it's how our brain interprets this information that gives us this ability. These dynamics are one of the fundamental building blocks of music. It's what contains the emotional range. If dynamic range is the emotion, loudness is the excitement. We perceive louder sounds as more engaging and exciting. This creates an interesting dilemma. How do we find the right balance between dynamics and loudness? And how can we achieve it on a technical level in recorded music? For many years, this was achieved using tools such as clippers and limiters. Each has its own pros and cons. For example, clippers are great at achieving maximum loudness, but if they're pushed even a little too hard in the wrong direction, our ears interpret it as distortion, and not the pleasant kind. Limiters, on the other hand, avoid such distortion, but at the cost of removing the punch by squashing transients, leaving the music sounding flat and lifeless. In time, engineers have figured out that combining these two methods achieves the best results. But this is far from optimal, because even with careful fine-tuning, there are still compromises. The settings that sound best on the second downbeat of the chorus aren't usually the same settings that sound perfect on the bridge where the drums drop out. You could try to automate all the parameters of your clipper, limiter, and the balance between them, but manually achieving this at the required resolution would be impractical. You'd spend hours on every single bar. This was the challenge that needed to be overcome when designing Loudness Pro. To do it, an AI algorithm was developed that, rather than relying on existing music for training, actually understands how our ears work. This means maximum loudness while also maintaining optimal punch and dynamic range. Since the AI wasn't trained on existing music, but on actual human anatomy, it adapts itself specifically for the audio it's processing in real time, rather than trying to match a theoretical target. This all happens right in your DAW, without ever having to upload your music to the cloud. You're not relying on services, credits, or an internet connection. It's always there for you. But what does this actually sound like? Here's a track that's ready to be mastered. It's punchy and has a wide dynamic range. We want to highlight the intimacy of the verses while emphasizing the energy of the chorus. This is a perfect task for the real-time dynamic AI in Loudness Pro.
Lately comes lately, just as you touch my shoulder like a ghost from the past. You scroll through all the pictures we saved. All I'm standing still while it holds under me. If you love me, say it, stay and anchor me. Say it loud, say it loud. Hey.
As you can hear, Loudness Pro is adding the perfect amount of clean loudness in the verses while also preserving the punch and energy of the chorus. Let's listen to this next track. We want maximum loudness without sacrificing the bite of the transients. you can obviously hear a massive jump in level, and it sounds extremely clean. Making things louder is easy. The real test is to see what it's doing to the character of the mix when it's level matched. You can hear how much detail Loudness Pro is preserving even when being pushed to extreme loudness levels like this. None of the artifacts that are usually associated with either clipping or limiting are audible. Loudness Pro is perfectly adjusting the balance of clipping and limiting, as well as the internal parameters of both to achieve the cleanest and loudest mix possible. If you want to hear what Loudness Pro can do with your mix, click the link in the description and download the free trial.